Hey guys, what's up? Here with another video. Today I decided to make one of my favorite looks, which is basically a warm golden orange smoky eye. But I decided to use more affordable products. So I'm using a lot of BH, I'm using a lot of drugstore brands. So if you like this look, please keep on watching. It's been about like 7 hours since I put on the makeup, and you know, it stayed pretty well. The foundation hasn't really shifted or anything. The eyeshadows are kind of a little bit patchy, but not too much. Everything still looks pretty good in my opinion. So if you guys want to know how I got this look, just keep on watching. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to my channel. Bye. Okay, so to start off, I'm going to start by moisturizing my face using my Neutrogena Oil-Free Moisture for Combination Skin. This is a great drugstore moisturizer, and I honestly swear by it. Before I started using this moisturizer, I used to religiously use the Clinique Dramatically Different moisturizing lotion. And I thought that was the only one I could use and the only thing that worked for my skin, but this Neutrogena moisture is great. Alright, so after moisturizing my face, I'm going to be priming my face, and I do apologize, I do not own any drugstore primers at the moment, but I have mentioned in my videos before that the NYX primer and the e.l.f. primer are really good drugstore primers, but I'm mixing in the Faced Hangover Primer and the Smashbox Photo Finish Foundation Primer for pore minimizing. Alright, so now moving on to foundation, I'm going to be mixing two foundations today. I can never decide on what color my skin is, so I always mix foundations. I'm going to be using the Maybelline Fit Me foundation in the color 128 and the L'Oreal True Match foundation in the color C4. I feel like C4 is too light and I feel like 128 is too dark, so mixing them together it makes my perfect match. I will say that I do like the True Match foundation's finish a lot better than the Fit Me foundation. I don't find the Fit Me foundation to be mattifying at all. It just feels like there's foundation on your skin. It feels very heavy. So I'm not too sure how I feel about it. So then I go in with a beauty sponge to blend everything in, and after I apply my foundation with a beauty sponge, I take a NYX buffing brush to set in my foundation and I tap in my product. Alright, so moving on to highlighting, I am going to be using the Maybelline New York Instant Age-rewind eraser, and my color does not seem to be on package, so I'll just link it down below. But this is a great drugstore concealer. I know a lot of YouTubers have talked about it before, but I don't know, I just feel like it's very creamy and it's not heavy at all, so it is a great alternative for a cheaper concealer. And I applied that with a concealer brush, and then I tap it all in to blend it in with a beauty sponge. Alright, so now moving on to shadows. I am going to be using NYX shadows, and I did use one transition shade that is not a drugstore product, so I didn't want to film me using it. I went in with some burnt orange from my Anastasia Beverly Hills palette as a transition shade, but then I went in with this this NYX Ultimate palette, and I went in with that darker orange shade to kind of deepen my transition shade. Also, the translucent powder that I have on my face for this video, that prevents the fallout from all these shadows that I'm putting on my lids. I like to put my foundation on first, so this setting powder kind of stops all the messiness if I have any fallout from the shadows. Also, I didn't put it in because it's Laura Mercier translucent powder, and it's not a drugstore product. I do have a Maybelline Fit Me translucent powder, but I'm not going to lie, it's horrible for taking pictures, and I don't like using it. So anyway, the brush I'm using to blend in my shadows is a Real Techniques 203 brush, and I'm just gonna keep building up my shadows with this 203 brush. After I apply that darker orange, I'm going to go in with that bright orange and just apply it a little bit lower. A little bit lower, more towards my lash line. And I'm going in with windshield wiper motions back and forth. These shadows are great. They're very pigmented. And for a NYX palette, I was actually very surprised. I honestly love that orange color, but I'm a big fan of orange and golds. I don't know if you guys have noticed. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with a clean blending brush. This is a MAC 226 SE, and I'm just going to wipe away the excess with a clean blending brush. You can use any brush for this, preferably a blending brush. And I like to build up my shadows. I feel like I'm repeating myself over and over again because I'm sure that I've said that in other videos before. Build up your shadows so you don't have extra shadows and you don't end up looking like Crayola on your face. This is another clean blending brush, and I'm just wiping away that excess in windshield wiper motions, but more towards my brow. Okay, so now I'm going in with my very loved and destroyed Carli Bybel palette by BH. I apologize for how it looks. I brought it to work, and for some odd reason, my makeup bag was on the floor, and my poor Carli Bybel palette was shattered by the time I looked at it. But yeah, I'm going to go in with that shimmery bronze shade in the palette. And I'm just going to be adding that on the outer corners of my eye with a blending brush. And then I'm just going to keep blending and wiping away the excess. Alright, so now with a concealer brush. This is a very tiny detail brush. It came in a Urban Decay palette. And I'm going to be using this e.l.f. concealer to kind of cut my crease before I put on my shimmer shadow. And this step is not really necessary. You don't have to do it, but I feel like my shadow stays in place for longer when I do add this step. And it kind of takes practice to get it right. I've been doing it for a while and I still don't think I have it perfect. Maybe I need a new detail brush, but I feel like it makes the halo eye pop more when you add the concealer before you add the shimmer shade. Kind of like a cut crease, but not so intense. And I kept going back and forth because that e.l.f. Concealer is really dried out, but I didn't have time to buy another drugstore concealer. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with this pink and gold shimmery shade from the Bybel palette. I'm using a MAC packing brush, and I'm just going to place it on my lid. I was kind of disappointed with that shadow. I thought it was going to be more pink, but it turned out very gold. But that's okay. So now I'm using a Real Techniques brush to wipe away that translucent powder. And yeah, so now I'm going to be adding on eyeliner to my waterline, and I'm going to be using the same shadows that I used for the top of my lids for my waterline. I'm going to be using a brown, I'm going to be using the sparkly bronze one from the Carli Bybel palette, and I'm going to be using that dark orange from the NYX palette. So now I'm going in with that bronzy orange shade from the Carli Bybel palette, not Bally, I'm sorry, and just with a small eyeliner brush, just smoking it out. And I'm going to be doing that for the other eye too, obviously. Okay, so I went ahead and did my eyeliner and my mascara off camera. I didn't do a wing today, which is really strange for me. But I'm going to be adding some bronzer. I'm using the Milani Baked Bronzer in the color Glow. And I'm using a NYX contour brush. And for highlight, I'm going to be going back into that Carli Bybel palette. And I'm going to be using the two lighter shades in the palette. The one that I've hit pan on and the lighter one, and I'm going to be mixing those two and applying them on the high cheeks with the Real Techniques. I think this is the contour brush. Yeah, it says it's a contour brush, but I like using it for highlighting. And last but not least, I am going to be using the Milani Baked Powder Blush in the color Luminoso. I love this blush. I think it's my favorite blush, and I have a lot of high-end ones, but this one has great pigmentation. I'm using a MAC blush brush to blend that in, by the way. And last but not least, I am going to be using an Essence lipstick, and it doesn't have a name on it. It kind of scraped off, but I'm going to try to look for it and put it down in the link below. And I'm going to be topping that off with my NYX Limp Plumper lip gloss. And after that, I'm going to be setting that with some Fix Plus. I apologize, that's not drugstore either. But yeah, that completes the look. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Bye!